be appearing on screen in just a moment. Again, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Gail Sylvia Pullen, and I'm the founder of Girls Fly, and I have the tremendous honor of being able to work with an amazing team in Pakistan. And they've put together a wonderful speaker series, and this is part two with Miss Nola from NASA, and there she is. Hi, Nola.
Hello, and I am so sorry, everyone, for the technical difficulties I had. Don't know what happened, but we worked through it. That's that resiliency we talked
That's
about
our
the
resiliency.
last time. So
Your
thank you.
video image is a little bit blurry. I don't know if you can get more clarity or lighting around your
And
okay.
probably because I'm coming in from another computer. Sorry about that. Let's see.
Oh, space works.
Yes, and let's see if am I clearer now? Still a little
You're not,
blurry.
yeah. We can see you and we can definitely hear you. So I'm going to go off screen and let you do your thing, okay? Nola,
Okay,
this
let me share.
a question I meant to ask you before coming on camera. Um,
Hmm.
I'll text the questions over to you, okay? Because I think other people have questions as well. So I'll text that to you, and
I
let's
would love
turn it.
to hear the questions. So
Okay, you're going to
you're
hear them.
more than well.
Okay, go ahead and get.
I'm going to hear them. So let me share. Let me know when you can see
We can see and hear you.
my, my slides. Let me know
Okay,
when you can see my slides.
okay. There you go. We can see your slides.
All right. All right. And as you know, I can't see you, but I can hear you all. So that's a good thing. Tell me, can you still see my slides?
Yes, we can
Can
see
you
your
all?
slides. Yes, we can see them.
Okay,
Very good. Thank you.
great. So, welcome, everyone. It's so good to be back with you. Sorry for those technical difficulties. And it's great that you can see my slides. What are you seeing? Do you see my first slide saying understanding? Let me know what you see.
We see that
Yes.
slide. Yes.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started right where we left off. Good to hear voices. I told you I'm an extrovert, so I get excited with hearing others, and as we uh, interact. As I mentioned, this is an interactive presentation, so let's get started. You all should have two letters that's on your piece of paper. Either you have an E or I, or you have an S and an N. Is everyone with me there?
We see it, Nola.
No, I just want to make sure everyone has two letters on their piece of paper. We went over two dichotomies. We went over the S, the E, and the I. If you're introvert or extrovert, everyone should have an E or I on their papers, or a S and an N. So as I start up with the next dichotomy, the T and the F, just want to make sure we're bringing our papers, because when we finish, everyone should have four letters. So if you do not have your two letters, just raise your hand because I can see hands now. So let's get started. The next dichotomy that we'll be talking through is the T and the F. It's the thinking and the feeling dichotomy. This is the opposite ways to decide and come to conclusions. This is the dichotomy on how we make our decisions. So, people with a T preference, they like to decide things by looking at the logical sequence of their choice or action. Where the F, they like to decide things by considering what's important.
We lost you, Nola.
Not sure what happened. I'm back. Can everyone see and hear me? I'm not sure what happened.
We can see you, but we don't see your screen that you were sharing a
All
moment.
right. I'm going to bring that back up. Don't know what happened there. Can you see that, Miss Gail?
Yes, it's visible now. Thank you.
Okay. So a F dichotomy, they prefer on how they feel versus looking at the logical sequence of what they see and taking that information to make their decisions. So let's take a look. People with a T dichotomy, they prefer the thinking versus the F, which prefers the feeling. A thinker, they like to step back and get an objective view. They like to analyze and like to use the cause and effect reasoning when making their decisions. Where the feeler, they like to step in to identify with those involved. They like to empathize and they are guided by their personal and social values versus the cause and effect and reasoning. A person with the T preference, they strive for an objective standard of truth, where the feeler strive for understanding harmony and a positive interaction. Again, it's not right or wrong. It's just our preferences, like we did when we wrote our name on the paper or crossed our
Recording in
hands.
progress.
We all have a preference, and again, I'm just sharing the characteristics of each preference. A thinker, they're reasonable, where a feeler are more compassionate. A thinker, they can be tough minded because it's what they see. 1 plus 2 equals 3, where the feeler may tend to be tender hearted, where they say, well, plus 1 could equal 3. And they're looking at various ways. Again, not right or wrong, just different approaches. A thinker is fair and wants everyone treated equal, where the feeler, they are fair, but they want everyone to be treated as an individual versus equal. Not right, not wrong, just different approaches. So take a look at this list. Here are some keywords associated with the thinking and the feeling preference. I'm not going to read everyone because we all can read, but just check out the differences from where they're coming as they're making their decisions. Here's another list for the thinking and the feeling. A thinker, they want to be recognized for a job well done, tasks achieved, and exceeding results. Where a feeler, they want to be recognized for those personal contributions, helping others, their effort. A feeler also want to be recognized for that personal, genuine appreciation, sincere comments, where that thinker, they want to be recognized by people they respect. And so again, not right or wrong. It's just different ways we want to be recognized and we want that decision made. A feeler, if not recognized, that thinker will feel angry, annoyed, and will distance themselves from someone. Where the feeler, if they're not recognized, they'll feel hurt and demotivated. Again, it's just how we're wired, how we operate. Don't walk away that is right or wrong. It's just different. So,
Excuse me, Nola. So
yes.
there's a comment in the Zoom chat from Kashif that
Okay.
if you press Shift F5, that you'll go full screen, and that
Okay.
might help make the
And
viewing.
actually, I'll just push the computer and I'll go full screen. But thank you.
Okay,
Thank you for letting me know you could not see the full screen. Can everyone
there you
see
go.
it? Thank you.
I
When
don't
I
know.
reshared, I didn't put it in presentation mode. Thank you
Yeah.
for that feedback. So, pull out that piece of paper I was mentioning earlier. You already should have two letters on your paper. Now, for your third letter, which one do you prefer? Thinking or feeling? Take 5 seconds and write down which one you resonate with. Here's the list again. Which one do you resonate with? Okay, so here's a little scenario. If we were face to face, it would be fun activity that I will do. I think I can still um, roll this out. Again, it's an interactive, so I really need you to come off mic and just share your experience. So imagine that you have been invited to a party with a close friend. Now remember, this is a close friend. Your friend arrives to your house ready for the party. You look at what he or she is wearing. You look at what she is wearing. This is girls fly. But you look at what they're wearing and you say to yourself, oh no, is Nola really going to wear that? But what do you say in this situation? So usually we discuss this at a group, but please, since it's only a few of us, share with me what would you say to your friend? Now this is your friend. You've been invited to the party. Let's check some assumptions. That means you received the invitation. You know the invitation, what type of party it is, and really what you should wear. If it's a luau, you know it's going to be a dress down sandals. If it's a formal dinner party, you know it's dressed up. So we're just going to assume we're on the same page. We got the invitation. We both know what we should wear. And I walk in, or your friend walks in, and you look at yourself and say, oh no. What do you say in that situation? Please share. I need you to come off mic.
I think
Thank you.
go ahead first. I think
Thank
I was just
you.
like discussing. I was just thinking in my head if I'm more towards the thinking or the feeling part, and I think I do want to go with the thinking. But at the same time, I also know that when I practice my participation in a group project, I do go towards feeling. So for this particular scenario, I think my first instance would be I definitely would be shocked because I can imagine that. But I would think about it and I would initially let it go, and let her wear what she wants. But if I feel like that's maybe pressurizing me to, discuss because she's a close friend and I can give her an opinion, I'll probably just like quietly or in a very pleasant manner ask her if she thinks that's appropriate. So I think it's going to be sort of a mix of a both. I'm really thinking about if I should let her be herself because I don't mind that, but at the same time it might be a situation where I feel like, oh, that's probably not the best. And because if it's a close friend, I can give her a suggestion. So I would also be like, oh, are you actually going to wear that? Are you sure? Something like that.
Thank you. Who am I? Who is this who just spoke?
It's me, Barak, from the Girls Fight Pakistan team.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate you. Anyone else? What would you
Uh,
say?
I would like to go now. I would like to be like really friendly with her because she is really close to me, and I would say like, oh, might be the theme of the party was like this. So how about we twin and wear the same dresses or the same color? So I would like to be really friendly with her in a way that she didn't get hurt, and also she could understand my opinion too.
Under Great. What's your name? I just can't see it.
Aisha, the team member from Girls Fly Pakistan.
Thank you. Thank you, Aisha. If I mispronounce it, forgive it. Charge it to the head, not the heart. Thank you. Anyone else?
I would like to go now. Hello, Miss Nola.
Mhm. Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead. Should I?
Did you? Please go ahead.
I think I would be honest with her. I know it's gonna hurt her feelings, but I think it would be better for the situation if she's properly dressed rather than caring about her feeling right now. I think I would be more focused that if she's getting humiliated or not. She's my
Thank
close
you.
friend, so I think it would be like I could handle the situation and I could tell her that you should like change a little bit.
And who was this speaking?
She's
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else? I don't want to overlook anyone, but great comments.
hello, Miss Nola. This is Imrana here from Girls Fly
Hello, Miss.
Pakistan team.
Yes. Hi.
So, what what me and my friends usually do when we go to when we go to certain event or party or somewhere. For example, if we're going somewhere together, that means we're really close friends, right? So we have this. We what we do is like we connect through WhatsApp or social media, telling each other are what are we gonna wear. But at the same time, if somebody shows up in a dress which is not like appropriate according to the event or something, I would definitely give her an option of like if she has come to my place before going, I would definitely be open to give her a tour of my closet if she finds something more appropriate than her dress. So yeah, I would definitely give her that option and let her know that
Awesome.
she could have done better.
Awesome. So, did I miss anyone? I don't want to cut anyone off, but great comments. I heard some thinking. I've heard some feeling comments. I've heard blended. It, one said, I would think about it. I would let it go. I would let her wear what she wants, but say quietly and pleasantly, is this appropriate? That's more feeling. Don't want to hurt the feelings, let her do what she want to do. Don't want to shake the boat. I also heard friendly would say, just remind them of the theme. Again, more of a feeling preference, just reminding them. I heard want to make sure she understands. Again, caring about the feeling. But then I heard, uh, I think she's if I said it right, I'm sorry if I mispronounced, but just be honest, better if she's properly dressed than being embarrassed. This is my close friend. I should be able to say what I need to say because, again, a little feeling, don't want her to be properly dressed, but I'm just going to say it. And because I'm straightforward, more of the logical, tactical way. Same with the last comment. This is my friend. We connect on social media. We talk about what's going on, and so all of that is that feeling and let's do this. But when it really mattered, you said, I'll give her a tour of my closet. But bottom line, you need to know you're improperly dressed. Come take a look at my closet. What can we wear? Because I want you still the feeling. I want you to be comfortable, and I want to be comfortable for you. So a lot of great responses, which shows it can be one or the other, or it can be blended. Sometimes it's a blended. I still care about you, but I'm going to say it because I need you to hear and understand, and remind you of the thing. Very, very good responses, and I thank you. So the thinking types here concentrate on achieving their desired outcome. The friend changes clothes. That is the thinking type. They just want the friend to change clothes. The feeling types think on how the friend will feel at the party. They also are concerned about embarrassing the person, to take more tactful, indirect approach. Not right, not wrong. It's just the approach you take. And the goal is we really thinking type. They are frank and to the point in starting with their views. But the overall goal is I want you to be comfortable.
Miss Nola, you're on mute. Not sure, but how? But you're on mute.
Also, Miss Nola, we can't show your screen.
Yeah.
Your screen is not visible to us.
You're still mute, Miss Nola. Miss Gail, can you unmute her from your
Okay,
end?
I just unmuted. I don't know what happened because I was okay, haven't touched anything. I can you hear me?
Yes, but we can't see your screen. So if you could share your
Okay.
screen again,
I
please.
don't
Thank you.
know what somebody hit something on the other end because I heard that it's recording. So I think that muted me and knocked my screen off. But let's try it again. Can you see me?
We can see your screen and we can
Is
hear.
it full screen?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. So the next one that we will be sharing will be J and P. It's how we take in, um, how we approach the outer world. J is for judging, and it's not like we know judging, so we're not judging one another, but J represents the judging preference. P represents the perceiving preference. A judging preference, they want the external world to be organized and orderly. Where the P, they seek to experience the world and not organize it. They want to experience it. A J preference, they look at the world and see decisions that needs to be made. Where the P preference look at the world and see options that need to be explored. Let's take a look at this list here on the screen. A J, as I mentioned, they like schedule, they're organized, they're systematic, they're methodical. You look at the little diagram, they go from point to start to finish, straight line. Where the perceiver, they they're spontaneous, they're flexible, they're casual and open-ended. They don't want to be put in a schedule. They start at the same point as the judger, but they may go haywire, but they still finish that cross the finish line as the judger. For example, I always say, like going to college. When we start college, you have some people who know what they want to be. When they get out of high school, they know what they want to be. When they sign up in college, they're already taking their core courses or the courses for their discipline, their degree, where open ended person, a perceiver, they'll sign up for college, but they don't know what they want to declare. They know I don't have to declare my major until my junior year. So they spend their freshman and sophomore year just taking all of their electives. They started at the same time, knock out the electives. It may seem chaotic to that judging preference, but they're still working towards the end goal. They just do it in a not so structured way. Another example, and I say this because I am a strong J, and I have a sister who's a strong P. We go to Disneyland. I need to know my hopper passes. What parks am I going to visit at Disney World? What hotel am I staying in? How was the distance from it? I want directions. I'm looking on MapQuest or my GPS before I even go. We're a perceiver. They just say, I'm going to Disneyland. I'll look at hotels when I get close. When I get close to Florida, I'll check out the hotels. They'll visit a park at free will. They don't want that structure. They're still having that experience, but just in a different way. So again, it's not right, it's not wrong, it's just a different way that we attack something. The judges, they make short and long-term plans. They usually have a planner, a Franklin planner, or they use notes, or they use some type, they have a calendar on the wall. Somewhere they're keeping track on what they need to do. And they like to have things decided, and they try to avoid that last minute stress. Where that perceiving, they like that last minute stress. They like the pressures, just like we probably know those the people. I'm one who just want to cram for that exam. They can still do good, but they like that last minute pressures. That's the perceiving preference. They like to keep things loose, and they like to adapt as they go. Here's some more differences in the J and P dichotomy. A J, they start right away and plan, where the P, they begin mentally. They're planning mentally, but they're not stepping out and writing it on paper. But without a fixed timeline, they don't want a fixed timeline. They just thinking about it. Where going back to the J, preference, they do their best work when they have control over their schedule. Where the P, they don't want a schedule, they want that flexibility. A J, they enjoy finishing early. They love to see something check the box, check off. Where the P, they get energized with completing it near the deadline. It's not right or wrong, it's just how they address it. So here's the list. Words associated with the J and the P preference. J's are organized, methodical, controlled. They like now. They are deliberate. They like to plan. Where the P's, they like the flexibility. They don't need a decision. They just want information. They're going to make the decision, but not now. Where the P's, they want to experience it, not control it. They want to experience every moment. And then the P's, they're okay with doing it later. They already thought about it. They looked at it. They know what they need to do. They put it aside and they'll pick it up when time is needed. J's like to plan. P's like to wait. It's not right or wrong. It's just how they address it. So with everything described, let me know if you have any questions. But with everything I just described, which one do you resonate with more, the J or the P? Take 5 seconds and put that last letter on your paper.
I think I can go ahead. I think I'm pretty clear on this one.
Okay, what do you think?
Yeah, so I agree with your sister example. I'm a very strong J and my sister is a very strong P. My entire life, and I think Miss Gail can also maybe reference to that, or even my friends here, I'm a very strong J. If I don't have my day aligned on my piece of paper or on my Google Docs, my brain just stops working. It just cannot work. So I need to know what are the things that are going in the week, what is new information coming in. Sometimes happen I have my list, but new information comes in, and sometimes I have to be spontaneous. It gets problematic. I'm learning to be spontaneous because I think that's a requirement sometimes with working internationally or working within an organization. But I can very well say that I'm a very strong J, and I like to stay that way. And I can also say it about my sister that she's a very strong P. Never saw her do something organized. So yeah.
That's funny. It's funny as you're saying that, because this is the dichotomy that will drive you crazy, because we're so different here. Either you're organized or you're everywhere. And thank you for sharing. Thank you. Because I always tell people, if you're working with someone you believe to be a J and you're a P, we got to do some adjustments. We got to make sure we give them updates, because they're looking for decisions. They're methodical. Even though I'm everywhere, I have to put on my calendar, give Miss Gail an update on Tuesday. I mean, if she's a J, we gotta know. So the beauty of not just Myers-Briggs, but any type of as we're working with assessments, and it's not just knowing who we are, but knowing who we work with. Because for my sister, she drives me, well, I drive her crazy because I'm a J. She just want to go. And I'm thinking, but when? I'm planning for Christmas or Thanksgiving, before, when it's still in the summer months, because I want to know the what, the when. I'm not doing the details, but I just want to let everyone know, mark your calendar. We're going to have it at my house this year. And the theme will be shared later. Just something to put out to let people know. Anyone else? Um, you should have a J or a P on your paper. Let's do this activity though. And um, we'll do it openly. We're not going to do groups, but just let's look at this. You have 30 days to complete a project for Girls Fly that requires at least 10 full days of work. When will you start? Who was that who just spoke about their sister?
It was me, Barack.
Okay, Barack. So you kind of shared a little bit, you know, but we have 10 days. When would you start? When do you do your best work? And what would create stress for you? Let's talk together on this. So, Barack, I'm going to stay with you. You kind of shared a little bit with your sister.
Yeah.
When will you start this project? You have 30 days. We know it takes a full 10 days to do. When will you start?
I think I'll be honest. I think I'll start right away because I can tell it from my experience, because I've graduated now, but when I was in university, and I would just want my teachers and my professors to give me the work on day one, just so I have the entire month or the semester aligned. So one thing that I would do for this project is that the day Miss Gale tells me, I'm just gonna have it on my notes. Um, I need to know what are the specifications of it, what are the specific documents that I need to prepare. Are there any internal deadlines? I would have that all sorted out. And then I would design it in on my piece of paper or on my Google Docs, how I want to take each step, just so that I am probably like ideally done 10 or minimum 5 days before the deadline.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And then I would ask you, what would stress you out? What would create stress for you?
Oh, I think what would create stress for me is if I don't go by my deadline or my order. So sometimes works gets piled up or something comes up, and I'm just within my head, I'm just stressing about, oh, I have that thing to do, that thing to do. So I think what would stress me out is if I'm delaying my work process. Sometimes it's fine that I have some extra days put up, but yeah, definitely if I'm delayed for because of any reason, that would be stressful.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? When would you start?
Um,
Yeah,
I think okay, I think I am a strong P over here because I would wait until the last 5 days and I wouldn't start it. And I would like sleep deprive myself and work a little bit hard, but I wouldn't start right away. And I don't think anything stresses me until to the point like I know the deadline has passed. Then I would get a little bit stressed, but nothing really stresses me out, and I wouldn't do it right away.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, who was just sharing?
Shiza.
Okay. Shiza. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Isha. Did I say it right? Aisha?
Yes, you said it
Okay.
right. So
All right.
I would like to say like I'm a mixture of J and P. Like for like my professional work, I am very strict about it. Like it should be on my calendar and everything should be sorted out. But for my personal commitments, I am P. Like I am just going with the flow and I will just settle this up anyhow. And I am I can do it, I know. And regarding this slide, I would like to say, like, in this, how I work is I won't start right away, but my like work style is I will keep on searching a bit, like informally, not formally putting that stuff in a doc or piece of paper. I will reach out to some of my seniors, like, how did you do it? What was your strategy? And then I will be doing, like, during traveling or something, Googling, like, how to do it, what was the best way. And, like, I am a last minute person too, but I will do the best at the last moment, even though I am sleep deprived, but I will be able to do it with perfectionism. Because like I think that research I do informally before that, so that helps me. But I will be doing like 2 to 3 days before that really best out of it, and I will structure it, and it will be like stuff like this.
You all are just so amazing as I hear how your approach is so similar, so different in areas, but it's really good to hear just the various approaches and the way you blended that JMP because it's so important. We can do, even if our preference is P, we can still do J. If our preference is J, we can still do P. Or if we're close, we do both. We feel comfortable at ease doing both. So I'm glad the way each of you are addressing this. Anyone else?
Yeah. Hi, Miss Nola.
Hi.
So this is Hareem, right? I think I agree with Aisha because I am like a pendulum that swings between both J and P cycle. Like when I'm assigned a task, I'm a very strict J where I'm like on the first 2 days, I go through a high where I'm like, okay, I need to schedule everything. I need to have a timeline that I need to complete the project. And then if that's a 10 days timeline, by the second day, I'll be like, okay, there's too much time left. Let's just take it slow. And then I'll be like the low shift from the pendulum. And I'll be like, okay, let's taking it slow period, and then by the time the 7 or 8 day will come, there will be a game. I think that is coming more from a sense of responsibility that you need to do it right now. But I do prefer completing it a day or two before because I'm like, I need ample time and need to have a fallback plan. So I complete it there. But still, I do believe that even if I've got like a perfect draft, still the last day or like 24 hours are remaining before deadline, I go back and revisit it, and it's happened so many times that I make so many edits and changes, and they are some of my best work. And I feel like my mind is so creative at that moment because I have so much information to input and I have so much ideas that I can do and input there. And I've like, tried to temper myself in both cycles, like, try to do gradually. And I found out that that doesn't work for me because my creative ideas, if I do it gradually, they don't come that way. And if I do it like this, that works for me because on the last day, the stress, it makes it more fun for me. I would say that okay, 2 hours are remaining, and I'm like, okay, what else can I, make changes in it? Harim, it's 2 hours, and I give myself a goal that okay, it's 2 hours. What else can you do? How can it be better? So I think I'm
Mhm.
like a mix of both, and I'm swing between that.
Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just love it. Once again, uh, you all really described it. It's funny because I'm J, but I do P. So when you start talking blended, I really was resonating with that because I too, if I need something, I'll start it early, thinking about a job, what needs to be done. I set it aside because I do get that extra boost from that stress at the end of the day of, okay, now what can I do? Because for me, this is just for me, if I finish it too early, what usually happens? I know it happens a lot in the area where I work in. Requirements change, budget is cut, things change, something slightly changed, and if I haven't finished, and then something changed, now it creates stress because I put all of that energy for me to finish it, and then management, Miss Gail may come and say, oh, we need something different. Now you have to switch. And sometimes J's are not flexible. That is just like, I've done it. You said you needed it done, it's finished, and now it's changing, and I only have 2 days left. So for me, as a J, that will could be a stress for me. So that's why I don't, or I've learned I do a good 80% and put it aside, and I too get that adrenaline that lasts maybe 2 days because now nothing has changed. Now let me focus on it and complete it. But thank you again. None is right. Either one is not right or wrong. It's just a different approach. I hope you were listening to each other because it's about knowing who you are, but also hearing how each other, how we are, what drives us, what makes us really churn. So, then we start saying what are some of the implications, you know, judging and perceiving types always have a plan. So don't think just because someone is a perceiver, they don't have a plan. They're just thinking about it, categorizing it in their head. As I heard earlier, doing the research. They're doing the research, but for a P, if you're dealing with someone who has a J preference, make sure you go in and give some updates periodically. Day two, maybe day five, you just give some updates because otherwise that J will think you're doing nothing. And then they may step in and start to try to micromanage or do it for you. Just give some updates because, again, the perception is you're not methodical. You're not, they don't see that. They just see us everywhere. And that's not the case. We're researching, we're thinking, we've touched it, we put it aside. It's not right or wrong, it's just how it is. So everyone should have 4 letters on their piece of paper. As I mentioned earlier, I'm an ESTJ. I know my type. That's where I resonate more with the ESTJs. If you're willing, please share the type that you most resonate with. Your 4 letters.
He- Hello, Miss Nola. This is Imrana
Yes.
here, and I feel like I am INTJ.
All right.
And I have a question. I have a question regarding the last part, J and P personality type you just shared. I am a very strong J, and most of the time, I get in trouble due to this because I get things done. For example, like way earlier than the timeline. I cannot, manage the adrenaline rush you just mentioned. For example, if I have exams, like during my exam, like if it's an hour exam or 2 hours, I'll get done by the exam by like 1.5 hour, and the rest 0.5 hour I'll just stress out just for nothing. I cannot manage the adrenaline rush, of of the last minute. I don't know how to cope up with it, and also like if it's like a month for a certain period of task I have to get done with, I'll do it in like the first 10 days, and the rest of the 20 days I'll just enjoy myself. Even if I have a pending task for tomorrow, I cannot sleep a day earlier thinking of, oh, I have this thing to get done tomorrow. So I don't know how to deal with that. If you can answer that question of mine.
And I do. I have something on the slides that helps your preferences deal with stress. Because for Jay, maybe pace yourself, knowing that you get it done earlier. Say to yourself, I'm just going to get 50% done earlier. Or try to pace myself on the test. If it's 2 hours, I want to at least give myself only 10 minutes or 15 minutes at the end of the test. So it's what you have to do to pace yourself so you're not stressing out of, do I go back? Do I change something? Because that's when it'll get the best of us on a test. Or, you got to find that comfort zone. And I'll show you, I do have some slides on that, and you will be getting, I'm going to share the slides with Miss Gail. She can give you all of the slides, but we do have a strategy for that.
Okay.
But you are INTJ.
Yes.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Do you have your 4 letters you wish to share? And again, who was that for INTJ? Was that
Imrana.
Can you spell it?
IMRANA.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Your 4 letters? Or you can keep it to yourself. You can always share it with me or
I
Miss
have a
Gail.
question for you, Nola.
Yes.
So this is Gail Sylvia speaking.
Yes.
So through the years, I've had more than 5,000 employees over the course of 35 plus years in business. That's hiring, interviewing, training, training is ongoing, and even firing. One of the things that has been a really important lesson for me is that we need all of these personality types in our business in order to, it's an important characteristic that traces back to how we define success. That if we were all the same, then we would be all going down the same path and we would miss other perspectives on business or client resources or opportunities for growth or decisions that might be hard to make. But then one personality type, they have no emotion associated with it, and they just are looking at the numbers, and it brings tremendous value. Where on the other hand, when we're doing things that require thinking out of the box and engaging in the community, then the creative person is the one that really brings those marketing tools and the enthusiasm for that. So I just want to personally thank you for how you're breaking this down, because it applies in all areas of my life in and outside of business. Even you and I right now, I'm sure I must be driving you crazy getting ready for Girls Flight Paris, because your personality type is, this thing should have been booked. I know what time the cab is coming. I know what time I'm walking in the door. And my personality type is, oh, don't worry, girl, we got you covered. Everything will be fine.
And I
So
love it.
Huh?
No, and I love that you brought that up, because we learn to adapt, because that's the beauty. And that was a segue to this slide I'm showing now. It's so many types. We have 16 types that can come out that, but we all live in a house. So I look at it as we all have to work together, understanding our types, because you're right. Some people are judging, some people are perceiving, some people speak up, some people are introverted, some people just look at the numbers, some people are fillers, but they all work together for good. That's the way, and this slide was really driving it home that we need that diversity. That's that diversity and inclusion. And we'll never know until we hear, not just see, but hear situations. That's why I wanted you to come off the mic and speak, You know, how do you resonate? How would you act? Because it's more on that experiential. You know, how do you experience show up in a situation like this? So great point, Miss Gail. Great point. So I just want to, and I know I only have 3 minutes, so I'm gonna talk kind of fast. Um, do you have a hard cutoff, Miss Gail?
I think we have some flexibility here, based on your
Okay.
availability and just a slight delay with the technical issues. So please
Okay.
just make sure you're able to cover all the important information that you want to make sure they leave with.
Perfect.
I think
I have
that's
time.
important to us. And then those that have to go, we are recording it. So we'll be happy the
That we walk away, that we do not measure. MBTI does not measure how much of something you have, or how well you do something. It's just not right or wrong. It just is. Don't let anyone judge you. But most important, don't judge yourself. Like, oh, I'm an I want it to be an E. No, you're an I and you can do the E as well. Or you're a J and you can do the P as well. So don't let anyone judge you. Just know that Myers-Briggs believe you're born with your type, but our experiences shapes us. If I go abroad, it's going to shape me versus if I stay in the same state, city all my life, or my economic level. So everything shapes us, but we're born with it. So just there's various questions, and this is just a driver of the show. The difference between the I, if you're introverted or extroverted. One is more initiating. Extrovert, they initiate a conversation in a minute. The introvert are they're on the receiving. They're going to listen a little more. So you'll see those in your slide. I talked about this, the importance, and Miss Gail really drove it home. It all works together. The importance is the diversity of our types. It's not right or wrong. It's just how we show up. And I need the introverts to tell me, hey, Miss Nola, I missed something. Can you slow it down? Versus, or I may say, what are your thoughts? If to an introvert, because I want to get their voice out. It's not right or wrong. It's just making sure I know who I'm dealing with, so I can slow down and ask for the input from that introvert. They have the answer, but they're not going to give it if an extrovert is over talking them. Just want to show you this. This is just a national uh, representation, 1,000 sample. These are the percentages. 8.7% of that population. The ISTJ is the larger part of that population. Just a sample that was taken when we did a sample of the types. I do want to show that I'm gonna skip this one for women. Did I show women? Here, more females out of the 3,009 being sampled, 1,500 were females, and it'll show the breakdowns versus the type. Again, out of that ISTJ, we have 11.6% who is in that type, but out of that, mostly men are ISTJs. Women are the 6.9. A lot of times females fall more in the feeling. You'll see some of those percentages higher for women because they're more of the nurturers. But it's rising because more women or leaders are in our ESTJs. And I think I'll show you. Uh-oh. Our ESTJs A lot of our executives or leaders, they are ESTJs. They are more extroverted. They're looking at the data, they're thinking about it, and they're taking action right away. But once again, there's various breakdowns, and we can take that sample again and we could see how that fall out. But statistics shows most of our management leadership falls under ESTJs. This goes back to the question earlier about how do we deal with that stress or our types. Um, I'm going to go right to it. Here are some triggers. If you are each letter of the personality type, we have a cause. It can cause an automatic stress. For an extrovert, spending too much time alone will cause an extrovert stress. For example, when COVID hit, we shut in. Me being an extrovert, I needed people. I needed, thank God my husband worked with me and we were both shut in together because I had someone to talk to. But what about the person who lived alone, staying in an apartment? So for ease, introverts, spending too much time with others, interacting will cause you stress. For a sensor, listening to too many theories and harebrained ideas will cause you stress. A censored is tried and true. If it worked, we're going to keep using it. Where that intuitive person, they love those ideas, but when they have to pay too close attention on details or guidances or regulations, that will cause them stress because they want to be free thinking. For thinkers, if they're overexposed to too much emotion, that'll cause them stress. They just want to think about it less. Me read this research diagram or research paper and address it. They don't want to care about all of that drama that comes with it. Where a feeler, if they are exposed to negativity and in a critical environment, that will cause them stress because now their feelings will be hurt. And for the JMP, judges, too much disorganization will cause you stress. That's why I said if you work for someone who's a J, give it to them clean, just an update, not too much. They want organization. For a P, too much structure and too many rules will cause that P stress. And we heard it as you were explaining your JP dichotomy. So here are some stress modes. When under stress, that extrovert will withdraw. They're normally talking, they will withdraw. I'll let you just look at this. I don't have to read every box, but these are some of your stressors. If you find yourself lashing out, that's because that introvert is way too much coming in. They'll start lashing out. That feeler was usually so knuckle of themselves or others. Remember when we were talking about, no, I wouldn't tell my friends, I wouldn't want to hurt their feeling. Under stress, that feeler would be like, girl, you better change. Or that's not it. They'll start saying something real sharp and not care about the feelings. Last slides are the causes of stress. I'm not going to read them, but just look. If you resonated with the introvert, look at some causes of stress for you. Extrovert, the intuitive, that's the N. The sensing, the S. These are some things that will cause you stress. Feelers, thinkers, perceivers, judgers. These are some things that will cause you stress. And the remedy for those, my last two slides, if you're under stress, for an introvert, arrive early. They don't want to walk in a room and everyone's looking at them. Arrive early, be seated. You don't have that all on you. Take a break throughout the day. For extrovert, network and meet more people. The remedies: allow time for people to respond. A lot of times we'll get to talking, people can't respond. Intuitive, look at the details from time to time. I know you don't want to, you're looking at possibilities, but sometimes look at the details. It will arm you more in having conversations with the opposite. Same with the sensors. Practice brainstorming. Run it by someone who's intuitive. Hey, I just thought about this. Um, I have someone at NASA. I was a sensor, he was intuitive. We made a pact. I'll keep you out of NASA jail. You can't just throw anything out there because I know the regulation. He always came to me with his ideas, say, Nola, you think this will fly? So that's the beauty of it. Our opposites, we want to start talking to each other where that we're not your enemies. We really can partner and be a advocate for you. And the last one is feelers. Don't be afraid to be honest. Tell your girlfriend she needs to change those clothes. Say it clearly. You don't want her to be hurt. So don't be afraid. Practice just thinking logically. Um, Thinkers, ask for others' opinions and concerns. Perceivers, stay on top of those unplanned surprises. Sometimes that budget may be cut and we have to shift. Leave yourself some room for any shifts, whether it's that homework, that term paper, that research paper. Leave yourself room. Judges, control your destiny. Set your own deadlines. Practice patience and wait before closing on a decision. Any questions? That's all I have. Any
I have
questions?
a question.
Yes.
Since I am a P, I like lean more toward being a P. This is my question. Are P's seen as like less professional and as a bad thing? Because like I like to let my things slide until the last moment, but I get them done. And I don't stress often, but my work is always done. But I think it might be considered as less professional.
And the only thing I wouldn't say less professional, but I believe that your strategy should be always communicate. Because if you have an idea of what needs to be done and it's maybe perceived that you're just sitting up here twiddling your thumbs, let the powers that be know. Yes, I got it. I have a handle. I'm gonna give you an update on this day. I'm on track. Sometimes a P, uh, uh, judger, I'm sorry, needs to just hear, yes, I got it. I'm on track. I'll have it to you on Friday. That can make their day. So
Okay, thank
communication
you.
is key for P. You're welcome. Anyone else?
Yeah, but Ms. Noel, I think that you just said something among many things that was really important and valuable as personal development and professional development. And that's how there are strategies and techniques that can be applied for working with different and engaging in life with different types of people. And these remedies for stress, are will help keep those stress levels down and becoming conscious of them. So it's not like just one time, one introduction is going to serve you for a whole lifetime, but you'll have some key takeaways in your toolbox or in your purse that you can recognize and pull out when you're dealing with your sibling and you're like, oh wait, I have to remember she's this personality type, this is the dynamics that's going on, and here's how I can adjust so that I can manage my expectation and keep the stress level down and the relationship intact. So I have one last question for you, and that is
Mhm.
for those people that are watching who want to learn more or do individual assessments or connect with you, would you mind typing in the chat how they can do that?
Yes, I can. You can let me go into the chat since I stopped sharing.
We still see your screen, at least I do.
You can see my charts.
Yes,
No,
Myers-Briggs
we
Oh,
person.
still see your presentation.
oh, okay. I don't know what I did, but my email is Nola Bland at Frontier. I put it in there if you have any questions. Now, how can we go further? I know we're talking about getting a tool where we can actually get the assessments. What you just did is an estimate. You just guessed what your type will be. I want to get to you, ladies, where you take the assessment where you can actually see what your type will be. And we're talking about getting that, having the ability to get that to you. But I can talk strategy because I pretty much everyone has taken Myers Briggs. It's how we use it. And like I said, and Miss Gail, and you've also shared, it's about knowing yourself, guessing what type you're dealing with other without judgment and without labeling them. But if you know someone keeps coming and asking you, where are you on a project? They're pretty much probably RJ type. So if you're a perceiver, your strategy is, I'm going to go and just give her a week, whether she asks me or not, a weekly update of where I am. And make sure you're one step further on those updates. You don't have to be complete, but at least a step further to give someone an update. But if you have any questions, definitely ask me. But my goal is, how do we work with it? Because I can even delve deeper to say, how do you deal with conflict management based on your type? How do you deal with communication based on your type? How do you deal with inclusion based on your type? We can take this pretty much anywhere and start seeing how we can use our type to be able to communicate, collaborate, and inspire and empower each yourself and each other more. Hope that answered your question, Ms. Gail.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. On behalf of everyone here, and Barack, if you have any closing comments, I want to thank you for organizing this on behalf of the Girls Fly Pakistan team. I just want to come on the screen and just thank everybody. And Ms. Nola, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and there at NASA to come and just share this with the representatives from Pakistan.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
All right.
Hopefully see you soon or talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.